Yes, it does, and we are at long last into the action. Inferno, map number 1, TeamOne on the CT side, and looking at the investments, we do have 2 super soldiers once again. We saw this in their last matchup versus Oplano, the double dualies with Kevlar, no less, on Pesadillo and IDK. This time, though, they're playing towards B, not towards A, and that doesn't matter tomorrow. He'll find the opening. Nice shot on the one Beluka. Good trade on the USP, but these T-side players of Infinity will still continue forward. They'll get control of the site, and it is a hands-off play now from TeamOne. They're going to go for the retake. Torito, wow, dismantled Pac-Man, though, in kind. Drops IDK. It's both the super soldiers dropped with no impact. The dualies on the ground, and now it's the USPs to do the heavy lifting. Spamsy spams away one, spams away a second. Not quite. There we go. He finishes the job, and that leaves just Beluka. 1v3, a good tap onto one. He passes that check, but now he's down to 1. Can he do it? No, it's a combined swing from both Spamsy and his teammate. Very well done with that quick take from Infinity. And that is a solid start now, 1-0.
Yeah, the dualies really needed to find some impact for TeamOne, but the Glocks of Infinity getting them on the board early, so they are halfway to their typical tally. As things have progressed so far at this RMR, they have got 2 rounds in the prior 2 games, and well, unless they lose to the Pistols, they're on pace to tie that here in the first 2 rounds. So already a good start for Infinity here. The scout from Maluk will take a shot. He'll take the damage instead. Does no connecting onto the players down bottom ramp. Marro getting a little control towards bracket. Tosses out a smoke and arches. And will get flashed in with the Mac 10. But around that smoke, Maluk is looking for the gap. And Torito's already taken a little bit of damage as well. Maluk's going to back away to arches. Has some support. IDK can swing around, but I think he's going to commit to the lane side take. Be there with TRK, be a bit of a bait and switch. Molotov into the cubby. And Maluk's just looking for the tag, and so his teammates can do the fragging. It's a slow, steady take from Infinity, though, and it almost feels like they're walking into the trap as they've taken so long to move. TeamOne have all the banana information, and the smoke, yeah, is going to go down, but unless they choose to wrap to B, it's not going to be a great end here for the Infinity side, and Pesa already kicks this one off with a 1D, looking for another now. That's just going to send Infinity back to B, but the rotation's already there from Pesadillo. He's just struck once. Can he hit Lightning again? Malbs gets taken down quite low, and Kinky might get the opening pick towards A. He will indeed, but the time has got down to an awkward spot in Infinity. They might have made the right read here, unless TeamOne actually react.
Kind of going back and forth, pinging and ponging. TRK in the pit, though, he drops Kinky, and now things get more difficult. As long as he remains being a presence in the smoke, he can just make these players guess. Double bat, perhaps no. The plant will go down in the back of the site, but TRK's commanding position in the pit makes this retake all the more possible, especially with that damage onto Torito. Wow, now. It's a dicey situation for Infinity, very touch and go. 3 versus 4, 2 players stuck on the site, 1 on low HP in the apartments, and that does not bode well going against those pistols. And that scout of Maluka, Pacman, trying to ice a duel versus TRK, but again, he's just being a presence in the pit. That's all he needs to do. He distracts for his teammate. Pesadillo gets the trade onto 1. Spamsy, those at long last chime in, and Torito, wow, as well from the apartments, does as well. It was a low HP ending, 24 and 27 HP remaining for Torito, wow, and Spamsy, but they do get it across the line in the end. However, TeamOne's Force Spy did indeed do a lot of damage in that one.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage, but now look what Infinity have purchased up. That's something I have not seen in a while at this level. I've seen more Bisons than this gun lately.
It's called the Pro 90 for a reason, man.
I mean, it's going to be great against the unarmored players of TeamOne. The Deagle in the hands of a couple of players, a P250, a bit of utility. Already, Maluk taken down quite heavily towards A. TRK as well, taking a lot of damage. In comes that P90 to B. Kinky gets the opening onto Malbs. IDK should not be too long. Never mind. Down goes Kinky, the P90. It only finds 1 nade, and that's a bit of a disappointment. The SMG should have been able to farm.
Should have been able to farm, and the added caveat with that P90 is it's an SMG. Typically, SMGs get that $600 cash. The P90 doesn't. It only gets $300 like normal rifles. So he really does not get much kill bonus money, assuming his team wins it here. So Kinky in a rather difficult spot.
It's also more expensive than Nickel.
It is also very expensive, like $2,300, I want to say.
$2,350.
$2,350. See, I don't remember because I haven't used it in so long. Marro, though, finding gains elsewhere. Again, just slowly chipping away. It's pistols. You can't expect much from TeamOne in this round, aside from a kill or maybe 2. And I'd imagine Infinity might be rather eager to pick up that P90. It would do a heck of a lot more than a Mac 10. but it doesn't look like they will be going for it. IDK instead picking up the P90. He should go for this, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no way he saves a P90 for the following, but time is ticking down. He needs to be rather quick on the rotation. The issue is he's rather paranoid about the hunt from Infinity.
Yeah, there's no reason to save this P90, is there? I mean, you might as well just go for it, get some damage. But he's going to chill out on Banana. I guess he wants to take the P90 to the next round, which I guess economically it works, but is that really the gun you want to take with you? It's actually more expensive than the FAMAS at this point, too, I'd like to add, which is probably a reason why we don't ever see it. Not to mention, there's better options. The MP9 exists on the CT side, the MAC-10 exists on the T side, the MP7 or the MP5 even exist, and those are only 1,500. So the P90 really has fallen out of favor. Pesa's going to get that drop to him, though. Maluk will get the op. That's a good start. But Infinity, they've capped off 3 rounds already. They have now more than equalized. They've exceeded their previous round tally in the previous 2 maps. One more round, and they tie their tally for the entire tournament so far. It's a much better start from them. This is exactly what we needed to see. Yes, it is pistol round, the subsequent, but it's still something there, some confidence to be built up for the Infinity side. And it looks like we might have a game on our hands pretty quickly. TeamOne better wake up.
Confidence is a bit worrisome. We have seen none of it from Infinity thus far in this tournament. So if they can get the wind in their sails, they can really begin to take off in earnest, we could have a very exciting game ahead of us. Again, keep in mind, Infinity, bottom seed for this entire tournament. They're punching above their weight class, no matter what, no matter their opponent. TeamOne, though, with that op, as you mentioned before, wants to be the difference maker here. He finds one. TRK on top of the balcony finds a second. The op shot does not connect, but TRK is still here to support. Pacman can't just run in with reckless abandon. He will get taken down after a brief delay, though. TRK now falling back, reloading. Nonetheless, is still holding it down. Another missed flick from him. He's not having the best of luck with the op, but TRK looks to pick up the pace. No, he doesn't find it. IDK and Pesadelo instead find the final 2 nails in the coffin. The P90 making its voice heard. It will be dropped for one of those rifles, but incredibly important to note. Was the op recovered?
No, it was not.
I couldn't tell.
It's reinvested.
So we had to get a full reinvestment. That's an incredibly expensive investment for Pesadelo.
That's really expensive for TeamOne to have to rebuy the op there. They are up against a full buy from Infinity. Okay, there's a MAC-10 for Kinky, actually, which does make this round a little bit strange. Maluk does not have a helmet, so he has to be very careful not to get overwhelmed by the SMG. He's going to go hunting down into alt middle. There's a good opening pick for him. Pesadelo, the nade, and the spray, picking up a pair. And Infinity now down to only a pair of players. Pesa traded back, but Malbs from Sandbags should be able to put these last 2 up the river. He will indeed, and he'll grab an AK for good measure. TeamOne stabilizing with the guns in hand. The aggressive play by Maluk down mid pays off. He gets out of there alive, more importantly so. And his pistol's out for Infinity now. Deagle for Pacman. We'll see what else they can find, but TeamOne now look like they're in control of this one, Nate. The pistol round, just a slight little hiccup in their overall scheme.
A summary dismissal in that round from TeamOne, just absolutely rebuking the take towards Banana. Nice pick and nice confidence play from Maluka. More confidence plays as well towards middle. Even against the Deagles, he's going to hazard a chance down towards the T stairs. That's the confidence you want to see from a CT-sided Opera on Inferno. TeamOne looking to stabilize, keep this round clean, as flawless as possible. 4 or 5 players alive is the main goal at this point. Also preventing that bomb plant, keeping the T-side economy as low as possible. TeamOne could really begin to run away with this one if they succeed in these 2 endeavors.
The boost up over the smoke might yield something for Torito. He can get the angle on Malbs, would be huge to start this one off, but the smoke has faded. Malbs has been spotted, but Pesa's turned to shine. 1 and only 2 out of that whole engagement. Malbs gets destroyed by Pacman on the drive-by with the Deeg, and this is damage dealt by Infinity, and maybe even a chance for the round here. Pacman gets aim punched, and so does Torito. It will not work out for Infinity. They do get the couple of kills, but in the end of it, it wasn't even a bomb plant for them. They'll be back on the guns once more. No op for Spamzy, who I don't know if he really wants to use it on T-side Inferno. That's a team philosophy deal. Do you really want to go for the op on the T-side of this map in particular? Some teams say yes, some teams say no. There's no real right answer. It's how you feel comfortable. But the utility is going to be a little sparse on a couple of players. Marro and Torito only had 2 pieces of utility. A couple of players only had 3. It's okay from Infinity, but it could be a lot better.
certainly. I'm surprised they got those 2 picks. I think there was a jumping Glock shot in the prior round. Maluka, though, boosted up. We've seen quite a few creative boosts thus far. I think we saw a run boost middle. We saw that boost towards T stairs in the round prior with the pistols, and now we've seen that boost over the half wall over towards Banana to find an opening. Maluka, very good to find that. The op has been instrumental in finding the openings for Team One in this one thus far.
Maluk ready to take the shot. He should be able to get one fall away or even repeat for more. He gets the wall bang. No need to follow it up either. So going to come down the ball to actually clean up the mess. He sprays down a pair, looks for the third, hits the dink. But Pacman and Spamsy both very low. Maluk swaps to the sidearm, has the nade out in hand. Now that could find both of them. It will only do damage onto Pacman. The second nade comes through from Pesa, and bomb plant denied. Spamsy the last one standing, getting flanked on. We'll look for the angle on IDK, but it doesn't matter. IDK just holds down mouse 1, runs across the screen, and it's up with a good old wide swing. Team 1 now in the lead. Infinity still at 3. And I don't think they're going to be buying too much into this round, Nate, considering they need to bomb down again. And while they might have max loss, are you really going to go Galil's minimal util in this round?
I don't think so. Infinity looking a little bit hasty in their takes as well. They lost the opening to the op on the boost, so they know there's 2 banana at minimum. They get shot through the wall by the op, so they know the op's sticking around towards CT, and there should presumably be a player backing him up. And they still continue through nonetheless. They smoke the Molotov and run through the smoke, completely blind, completely taken out by mobs. 2 players in the third dinked. It's just not a good situation. It's crummy all around. I'm very confused to why they're committing so early. Now this round, they have some pistols. They're not investing. You can't expect too much. It is Deagles, and it is Inferno. Pistols have a propensity to win these rounds, despite all odds on Inferno, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time around. Torito, Wow, and Marro both going down without incident. No damage taken by Team 1. This is a chance for them again to continue to build that CT economy and really take over this game. They've won now 4 rounds in a row, and they're looking for 5. Spamsy, though, he'll get 1. TRK, though, immediately answers, finds the player jumping out with the bomb. Pacman now a one-way over the smoke with the Deagle, just can't find the head of Maluka. And now he's stuck in towards small pit. There we go. The Deagle does ring true. Pistol rounds for Infinity are always good for 2, evidently. But what more can you really find from this area? Nothing. Caught in rotation by Mobs. We talked about Mobs needing to be activated, and he really has come alive in this one thus far. 8 kills for him and Pesadillo, and 7 for IDK, 5 from Maluka, 4 for TRK. Everybody from Team 1 is doing the work necessary.
Yeah, it's no one player really shining above the others right now. Everyone's had a moment or two. I think Pace has had a couple more, but he's also put himself in more aggressive positions. So he has had to do more damage to be able to stay alive, or at least attempt to. Maluk's going to go back for his mid pick, though. He's been quite successful with these, and he knows the timing well. He can back away when the alt players are about to come up, as you see right here. And now he's going to try and get the alt pick, will not land the shot, and Marro will actually push him down. I don't know why he stays for the nade. If it's a Molotov, it makes sense. It stalls the push. But the HE isn't going to do anything more than a little bit of damage, and you expose yourself to the push as evidenced right there. Case in point, Exhibit A. Lapse in judgment for the in-game leader of Team 1, and as a matter of fact, lapse in judgment from Team 1 as a whole, because they almost just abandoned the B site. There was an opportunity for Infinity to get the site for literally free, but Pesa has come back to try and hold, still 1 man against 3. Not going to be very easy, and the Molotov might not even do too much here.
Lots of nade damage done by Team 1, but again, that's unconfirmed damage. That stutter step did prove fatal for Maluka as well. Very unfortunate to lose the op. Pesadillo now has a lot of work to do towards B. He has no idea they're coming out. They're just walking in. The Molotov will convey their play, and Mobs on the timing does find one on the flank, but Pacman immediately finds the turn on Pesadillo. A lot for Mobs to do here. He spams away 1. He does tie it up. He makes this doable. He wants to find more here. He's going to press the smoke. Finding 1. Not quite. He tags 1. Turns around. Finds them both. The Mobs. He's set up for success. The USP just taps away Marro. Does find the kill, sure, but IDK throws the nade and seals his fate. A very quick one for Team 1, and I don't know how Mobs finds the opening there.
I don't either, but what I do know is that Mobs might be back. And I'm hoping Mobs is back. I've been hoping Mobs has been back since he rejoined Team 1. So it's been about almost 3 months now that I've been hoping this guy's back in action. This is a vintage Mobs play right here. Pushing through, getting kills, taking his time, but not taking too much time. You notice when Mob's at his peak, he's hitting fast shots, but he's not rushing. He's not over-flicking. He's making sure he's getting the aim lined up before he takes the shots. And that is a glimpse of the Mobs that we know and love in that last round. It's going to force a timeout out of Infinity. Well, this is probably the 6 rounds lost in a row, not really the Mobs almost ace. Still, this is a confidence builder for Mobs potentially, and moving through this best of 3 and even through the rest of this tournament, I think it's a bit scary for anyone now if Mobs continues to keep up this level of form, because IDK and Pace have already shown that they're playing on a pretty good level right now. You add Mobs to the mix, and TeamOne might be able to make a dark horse run from down 0-2.
Now, I will say, that was outrageously lucky. The player he caught, he was trying to catch the bomb planter. The bomb wasn't planted there. That player over towards the coffin was just holding towards coffin, and he was lucky that he didn't die to the player turning around when he failed to convert the kill. He did lots of damage, turned around and killed the guy, but then came back and killed the guy coffin. It was outrageously lucky for Mobs. It was not completely smooth sailing, as you could tell. But still, it is good to see the confidence, and it's good to see the shots being hit when they're needed to. TeamOne, 6 rounds in a row now. They have fully blossomed on the CT side. Their economy bears that out, as you can tell. Some players at like 8.4K for TRK. That won't stop Infinity, though, from finding the opening. IDK's already out of the round, and Bracket's control is taken very swiftly here for Team Infinity. TeamOne on the back foot have to kind of adjust here. They do have 3 over towards the A site. The question is, can they hold off this take? Infinity look committed towards A at this point.
They look committed, but there's 3 players here to hold, and that's not going to be easy to get by. Maluki with a flash from TRK helping out. Gets Marro trying to push through the smoke. A bit overzealous, but there's a minimal amount of utility left for Infinity to try and get this one down. Maluki has a chance for a second, but he's missing these shots, these second opportunities, Nate. It's been a consistent theme throughout the course of the day so far, but there's TRK on the bicycle, but he can only pedal down for 1. Pace is stuck on site, but he has his wrap covered. That's the important part. He can try and take a fight, but he overextends and has to wait now for the rotation of Mobs to come through, unless Maluk, who's smoked off towards Moto, can do anything here. Bomb's going to go down. This is the first winnable situation for a while for Infinity. Dorito down into mini pit, Kinky on back site. Mobs is a nade and a flash. Could definitely soften up Dorito if it goes into the player in mini pit. Mobs just kind of rely on the information that Luke's able to gain too. They know where both players are, but both players hit the heads. And there we go, Infinity back on the board after the timeout. They recover well, the coach has his say, and they get a bit lucky too with that secondary missed shot from Maluk onto the player who was stuck in the flowers up in bracket. But without that, Nate, you can't finish without those headshots too.
It's true. Infinity, I like the idea they went for in that round. They slowed things down. They got Bracket's control. They tried to fake towards B. I don't know if you saw this. I looked at the map and I noticed it. It was a smoke thrown from T-spawn. The critical factor, though, is that the smoke missed. It did not land CT. It landed in water. And so that kind of just absolutely conveyed to the fact of TeamOne that they're throwing a fake from a distance and they're missing their nades. Stack A. So that could have very quickly unraveled for Infinity. They just got lucky with their shots there at the very end and on the entry as well. Good from Infinity to rein things in, to go toe-to-toe against the stack, but still, it is worrisome to me that they're missing this utility on the fakes.
Yeah, that's true. The CT smoke is not really that hard to hit, even if you're throwing it from door. Maluk.
It was from all the way through T-spawn. It was from T-spawn. It was a fake utility, but still,
you gotta hit that.
Throwing fake utility, you have to hit that if it's going to be a fake utility. You have to hit it. There's no exception. That should be something that should be lined up and prepared well in advance, and it's very worrisome that a fake is just essentially becoming no longer a fake because of that utility.
Instead, it's a telegraph. It's a direct telegraph line. They don't even need an encryption machine, Nate. They don't even need an encoding machine. Just
they already have the codes.
Yeah. No Enigma machines. Maluk.
Luka.
He tries to go for the fight.
This is the shot. Or he doesn't even take the shot, excuse me. He doesn't even fire.
Yeah, he just backed away. And that's going to basically collapse his whole hold. He's going to have to Alamo this, and he's going to get flanked both sides. Pace is going to come through. He actually gets the bomb. The bomb overextends and drops forward to Moto. There is a smoke on it, but it's not like this is too easy to get around. The hops from Kinky will recover it and get it back towards the site. But now Mobs can work his way through apartments. This opens up more space for TeamOne, especially if he's able to take down Spamsy, or Spamsy's looking lane, and Mobs is able to take out the player on the side itself. What's Spamsy looking at right now? He's the real linchpin in this defense. He's on the angle, but he shoots too early. He gets hit by the smoke. They definitely know there's a player in pit now. And a nade will go in to follow it up, takes Spamsy down to 44 HP. Pesa can isolate the duel on the side, potentially Kinky and Spamsy combined. But here comes Molbs! He knows where the last player is. He has a kit as well. He has just enough time. If he gets the shot up on top of Tallbox, sprays away, dashes down, misses the shot. The crouch saves Kinky's life. And Infinity will now surpass their total in rounds coming into this matchup. They had 4 combined. They have 5 now. And TeamOne calling the pause, as they don't like how that round went, and neither do I. That was a very bit of a collapse from TeamOne that should have... I think it really comes down to lack of communication or just bad communication, because they just got caught with their pants down.
Yeah, we were more focused on Maluka with the op, not even taking the shot, but in all actuality, the arch was left completely abandoned. That's what undid the round. Just a complete free kill on the player. I think it was balcony or in the pit, coming in from all the way deep arch. The T side got all the way up there. So Infinity finding a good gap and exploiting it. TeamOne taking this pause to reel things back in, to get back to their standard default, and to hopefully continue to put rounds on the board now after a brief absence. Their economy, I mentioned it was bountiful at one point. Now, not the case. We have 1 M4, 1 FAMAS, a 5.7, and 2 MP9s. This is a rather desperate force buy from TeamOne, but with some unorthodox strategies, say some apartments control, etc., it could very well work out for the CT side.
I like the aggression. It does pay off for a kill, but it's traded right back, and that negates pretty much everything that TeamOne got out of that opener. The nade dunks right down, gets the trade, and now Torito with the spam through the car will spray down Molbs, and what was an opening pick has now turned into a man advantage for Infinity. And while Pacman's still on 4 HP, does it really matter, Nate? Because the damage has been done. And now IDK has an MP9. Same with Maluk, a FAMAS for TRK, and a mid-range duel. That should not have been a duel by. You gotta trade him, Spams. You can't just let your teammate go down in that position. You have to go there. You have such an advantage on that trade. You double swing, you go 1 for 1. You already have the advantage.
Theoretically, but TRK was up top, and the FAMAS shot a little bit early. That gave away the double stack, and Infinity, I would say wisely, back off that angle. There's only one player that can go for the trade. He very likely walks into his death if he does that. Pacman, though, caught by his own flames, perhaps?
Yep.
Not sure what happened there. That's very unfortunate. And now suddenly we talked about this 4 HP player not being too important. It was still a man advantage. Now it's an advantage for TeamOne. 3 versus 2 going into the retake. It's a harassment from both directions, and the boost does seize the day. TRK up top with the FAMAS finds that. And that leaves just Spamsy to spam the smoke in the 1v3. He's going to try his hardest to spam down the diffuser. I truly don't think it's going to be possible. Instead, it's the spam from the MP9 of Maluka to get the kill. Lots of luck in this round for TeamOne. Things were very much touch and go, but in the end, they are the ones that emerge victorious, 7-5. But that duel towards Banana we mentioned early on really set the stage for an Infinity victory.
Yeah, they should have been able to win it off that Banana pick, that double pick towards Banana. And now, yeah, it makes more sense why they would have not gone for the trade if the call was made that there was a player on top hot for the double. But still, Infinity, they had to win that round. They've already gotten this okay half on the T side, but with that pick, a 4-on-3, in that kind of a situation, that's when you should be winning pretty respectively. And now Maluk's got his op back, and now Spamsy's been removed. Yes, it's Deagle's on 4, the hero AK on Pacman. Ooh, and TRK's up on Flower now. He's in a good angle. Just chilling out. Now, is this one that will be cleared by Infinity is another question. Maluk's going to take a lot of the aggro and pop play over towards Arches. Now they do know where TRK is, and he should drop away. He has help from IDK. A little more damage being dealt, but not too much in the end. Now it's TRK's turn with the FAMAS to get 3, and not quite 4. Still, 3 kills in the FAMAS. It might be pistols. He's about the only thing the FAMAS is good against. Torito with a couple extra kills to thin out that economy on the CT side going into, I believe, the last round of the half here. So, all things considered, TeamOne, they get 10. More than happy.
Yeah, TeamOne are in control of this map, but Infinity offering more resistance than they have thus far in this entire tournament. So, props to them for at least coming alive here, showing us some signs of life. We do have 2 rounds left, not quite the last remaining. We have full AKs as well for Infinity. If they lose this round without the bomb plant, they will be on a very shoddy bye going into the final round of the half, and that would pretty much line the road perfectly for a 10-5 scoreline, as you mentioned.
I like how Maluk doesn't shoot on the jump. He knows he doesn't have the angle, so he goes back to hold it more. Doesn't take the second shot either. The counter utility will do a good amount of damage to players coming up banana. Maluk will only take a little bit in return as well. There's a boost at mailboxes. Maluk spots the elbow. That's the bomb dropped. It's very far away, but still a good start for the in-game leader of Team 1. The man who's been with his team for nigh on 7 years. Nade takes down Spamsy too. Maluk's having himself a nice night. Kinky going to push out their Falcon. Should be able to do too much. Pesa up in library will silence Marro. And this round is looking like it's going to be a 9th on the board for Team 1. And then at that point, a 9-6 is good for both teams. TRK, only one IDK with a nade. How many nade kills have we had this game, Nate? I feel like it's at least
2
7
in this
or
round
8.
alone. Yeah, it's quite a bit. Inferno's a map known for that utility damage, though, so it does make sense. But that was a very comfortable round for the likes of Team 1. And looking at the scoreboard as well, they do have a very even score across the board for a lot of their players. We got 10... Well, actually, I'm looking at the wrong side of the screen. Excuse me. 10 for TRK, 13 for Pesadella, Maluka, Malbs, all 3 at 13, top of the scoreboard for their team. And then 9 and 10 for IDK and TRK. So everybody's doing the work, and Team 1 now going to get a little bit saucy on the play. Going to go ahead and show the confidence in the final round of the half. TRK in the apartments finds 2. Pesadella jumping out of the alt mid finds 2 as well and looks for the third to cap it off. It's Torito. Wow, he can't do anything towards the T stairs. No control for Infinity going into now the second half.
Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Ich sitz auf meiner Fensterbank, die Nacht zieht vorbei. Ich blick über den Tellerrand, trinke Sekt auf Eis. Ein Teufel und ein Engel tanzen auf dem Parkett. Vielleicht sind wir unsterblich, müssen nie wieder weg. Backpack, Kippen und Drinks gegen Tristess. Großstadtbild, komm mir nicht weg. Kopf fragt, mach kein Pisstest, nein. Ich war nicht auf deiner Party.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Infinity, a rough go at it on the T side. We'll have to see if they can change the tides here on the CT side. Of course, 3 of their 5 total rounds coming from that pistol and the subsequent. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and we have a very quick pistol round upon us here. Infinity, despite their rough start, they're still going to play their own game here. Straight down the middle they'll go. All 5 players either pushing down or holding passively towards the apartments. And this is a very audacious call for the CT side after their rough start on the T.
There's a nice one from Kinky, but he takes a dink in the second time of asking. And TeamOne are all still hemmed in their own zone, essentially. They can't escape, but IDK has forced the issue on Torito. Kinky will end a second, and Pacman in bedroom could put the players to sleep. Spamsy, though, peeks into the Glock. Close range, Glock's going to win that fight. Pacman low. And so is Kinky now, so issues arising for the Infinity side as they try to make this retake happen. There is no kit as well, something to note, something major to note. And wow, oh my gosh, that's a weird run-in for Maluk. That's bizarre. If you're Maluk, it's like, how did that happen? He just runs an arch, and now it's down to TRK on the site, because there's no way IDK can even get here in time to do anything at all. They know where he's coming from. They have a balcony player. The bomb's not planted for him. And that means something very interesting, Nate. Infinity have now won both pistols.
Yes, they have, and that might be what gets them back into it, what gives them a relatively decent score line here. TeamOne, though, they got the bomb plant, even on the CT side when they lost the pistol round, they went for the force buy, so you can bet that they're going to go for it now with a far better prospects as well. They have 4 Galils, a Deagle, I would say decent utility, but Pesadelo is the one that carries the bulk of it. 4 smokes, though, is nothing to bat an eye at. Infinity still the far better buy with a FAMAS and 2 M4s, but TeamOne, they could definitely, at the very least, make this one expensive, especially with that TRK, a double tap onto Pacman over towards the alt middle. A little bit of over-aggression from the CT side of Infinity. Again, they are struggling, but I'm glad to see that they are playing their own game. They're not playing scared or pensive. They're still taking the fight to TeamOne.
Yeah, they're still taking the fight to TeamOne. They're still forcing the issue here. And that's always something that's good to see. They are technically domestic competition at this point. They are a team that they should both be used to playing against each other with a bomb. Drops forward. Spamsy trying to fight back from Pit, and he now evens up at a 3-on-3. Maluki walks through the balcony, and he will finally find an end for Spamsy. Torito coming in from balcony now, and Kinky coming in from the same direction back middle. All sitting in hut, can definitely deal with the first point of contact coming up brackets. Torito upgrades to the Lil. Mobs will get the free spray onto Kinky, who got caught looking the wrong way. And Torito spots out the smoke or nade, whatever it was thrown. Yeah, it's a smoke to Moto from Maluk, but a 1-on-3, no kit. Also, it's a force buy from TeamOne. It does not look very good for Infinity here. We were talking last night when we found out what game we were doing, Nate, and also this morning again. We thought this was going to be a 16-8 in favor of TeamOne on both maps.
On the first 2, yeah. 16-8. Again, these are domestic competitions. So there is the additional storyline, the additional, factor to figure in. So Infinity, even though they are technically a cut below in terms of recent results, they still have an opportunity. But again, I do think TeamOne have a massive edge here, especially with that force by victory in the second round of the second half. Infinity, they're not going to let this one go quietly into the night, though. They are going to force back in response, but it's a far more bare bones investment. 4 Deagles and a Mag 7. Some confidence from Torito, wow, to find one, but he is quickly traded towards top banana. Again, you love to see the confidence, but when does it become more of a liability than a positive for this team? Spamsy up close with the Mag 7, meanwhile does find another, so maybe Infinity will clap back here with a force buy for
Well, it's down to a 3-on-3, although the Mag 7 can definitely be recovered. It's not a wise decision to necessarily push into the shotgun, is it, Nate? It's especially if you got an NA player who can learn from the ways of Pwn alone, who unfortunately is not playing, who is not even able to play in the qualification stage for the Road to Rio.
Look at Marro.
But yeah, Marro in under is in such a strong position here to get the drop on TeamOne. There's no way they expect. Oh no, they have
though.
They've read it.
They walked all the way up middle. He had no idea they walked all the way up, and he was just caught from the backside. Very unfortunate from a very commanding position. Pacman now has a lot to do on this A side. He's found one with the deagle. He's found a second. That was a nice shot through the box, and he's given his team some hope here. A dream. Maluka In the 1v2, he has I would say the far better rifle, but pacman's recovered an AK. Infinity have a massive advantage here. Maluka, though, he is at least isolated the 1 versus 1 on site, but again, pacman recovering the AK is able to win that 1 versus 1 duel. Too many angles for that last player to check, and so it is another force buy to get the victory here. And this is going to be a very scrappy start to the second half.
A very scrappy start, but that usually favors the T side. That's the problem for Infinity. The force buy wars, the rough buy wars, they always favor the T side because the economy is a lot more forgiving, and Tech 9s exist in this game. Tech 9s, there's 2 of them on TeamOne. They are great for close-range drive-bys, absolutely phenomenal for near-angle fights. This map of Inferno does lean a lot to that as well. And you say it a lot, Nate, if there is a map for a pistol buy to win, it's Inferno. So there's an opportunity here for TeamOne to strike right back again and truly ensure that begun the force buy wars have.
Was not expecting a Star Wars reference here. that one definitely came out. It was well delivered, I must say as well. TeamOne though, this buy, sure, it's decent compared to what Infinity had in the round prior. However, Infinity have just such a better buy here, and they're playing far more measured. They're not getting nearly as aggressive. They know the economy of TeamOne is in a bad way, and they want to force TeamOne into the angles rather than taking the fights outright. Kinky finds 1 for 1. Mobs that hero AK finds 1, and now there's the Tech 9s you mentioned. They can close the gap, and they can make it a really, really dicey situation. They find 1 at close range towards Banana. Mobs on the lurk, though, can't find much of anything. IDK as well is caught through Mobs was caught through the smoke towards B, and I think the other player towards the arch was caught instead by the AK. And so Infinity have real things back in. 3 versus 2 going into the retake. 3 rifles as well versus a hero AK and an MP9, and they line up. Spamsy catches both Maluka and TRK, caps off the round, and we do at long last see a stabilization. 2 rounds in a row for the CT side of Infinity, and they are beginning to come back into this one now.
They're starting to make it work. They're starting to get a little more success here. They do hit that 8. Now, will they exceed our expectations? It's always fun when that happens. It always means things are definitely getting up in the air. TeamOne, honestly, this would be a good time for a timeout. Because you guys need to settle down here.
They're on a save. Save for the next round, I'd say. I think you would agree as well.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you always want to take it before the rifle rounds. That's the conventional line of thought, and it does indeed prove to be worth its weight in gold more often than not. It does get you on the board quite often. Pistols, though, going to make a quick one of this one. IDK all the way up Banana already. Very quick control being taken. It is 3 Deagles, a P250, and that Tech 9. 2 sets of Kevlar as well, but Kinky just absolutely beheads 1, takes down the second. That's one of the Deagles and the Tech 9, for those of you wondering. And that is one heck of a start here. Infinity, we talked about building confidence. This is a round to do so. It's against pistols. Keep it clean. Find good kills. And more importantly, build up that CT economy. That will give you a path back into it. Taking this round should be a foregone conclusion. It will give you only a 2-round deficit. And from there is a clear path back into map number 1.
There definitely is a very clear path back to map number 1. It is their map pick, so it looks like they picked it for a reason, but TeamOne will have buys up again in the next round. That is where I think a lot of the balance lies, is what would be round number 21, that 11-9 scoreline. If TeamOne are able to win that one and win it confidently as well, don't let Infinity save anything at all. It's going to get very awkward for the Infinity side. It's going to be late in the game. The CT economy will come into play. But a flawless round here from Infinity will really help their economy. It'll boost them up immensely. You see 6K on Kinky, about 4K on Marro and Pacman. 3K plus before the nade reinvestments for Torito and Spamsy. Things are starting to look okay for Infinity economically. It's not great, but they can take a couple of losses here and still be able to reinvest.
And TeamOne, their buy's not the best either. They're having to forego a couple AKs on TRK and IDK in favor of max utility for those players. So I'd say still a relatively decent advantage for Infinity. They have some recovered AKs on Marro and Spamsy. They do have a FAMAS, sure, but Kinky has proved that as a more than serviceable weapon in his capable hands. So I would still say I slightly favor Infinity this one in terms of firepower. Now, TeamOne might have a different strategy. It looks like they have found the timing to get by the utility on Banana. or one of them has. Maluka, though, does fall. Kinky takes him down with the grenade. And sure, a player did get by, but it doesn't matter. The opening has been found. I say that, but IDK finds a perfect timing. Spamsy, sitting in the cubby, was posted on middle for dang near 30, even 40 seconds, I dare say, and he turns away at the precisely incorrect second and gets taken down as a result.
That was a weird timing for Spamsy. I don't know why he's looking behind him.
He was turning away. Maybe either A, a flash, or B, it looked like he was going to get out of close middle because his team had the opening.
Yeah.
But you don't have to look where you're walking. I guess that is a valid point.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you heard a pin pull, in which case, yeah, you're playing anti-flash. But the flash is probably going to go deeper.
Yeah, close cubby typically isn't what's flashed for. Kinky trying to fill the gaps is instead the second casualty in the round. The FAMAS taken down. I mentioned it was a serviceable weapon, but in that even duel, he just doesn't hit the headshot, and that's what's most important. Torito, wow, now spamming away the smoke, isn't lucky with the shots, and he gets the duel taken to him. Mobs, fearless on his entry into the site, finds the kill, catches the player throwing the Molotov. That's the bomb plant, and in a 2 versus 4, you really can't reasonably go for the retake. Pacman and Marro, no choice but to cut ties here. They're going to try and save that M4 and that AK, along with the kits and the helmets. I mean, that's a pretty expensive investment that they can save for the following, and they need to save these rifles, realistically speaking. They'll drop one over to Torito, wow, who doesn't have enough money to invest, maybe one over to Spamsy as well, depending on how the economy looks, and Kinky should hopefully get an op-out for the squad as well. He has $6,200 in the bank.
Yeah, he's got money. Op has to come forward here for Infinity. Spamsy's got to pick that one up.
I'm sure it'll be dropped over by Kinky. Realistically, I think a rifle should be dropped by both Marro and Pacman, but it should be a well-rounded buy, all things considered. It should have full utility or thereabouts. The op, as we mentioned, full rifles.
Kits
it's
too.
still going to be a very, very formidable buy for Infinity, and they take the tactical timeout as well to talk things through. The kits are already there, to be fair. 2 players have kits. You don't need more technically, but it is always nice to have as a just-in-case situation when you're down to the wire.
Yeah, I like the timeout call, though, from Infinity. It's a turning point in the game here. This round can basically make or break their Inferno chances, and maybe even their chances at staying alive here at the Road to Rio. Because if they lose this map, I don't know if they're going to have what it takes a Mirage. Yeah, Mirage could be a puggy style, but I mean, TeamOne, it's their most played map. They're 11-3 on it. They've taken Nouns down twice. They've taken out ATK on it, and Infinity are 3-3. So it's not like it's a great map for Infinity. It's a solid one for TeamOne. They actually pick into it quite a bit, even in the ECL level. So to see them go for Mirage, not a surprise at all. Spamsy does have the big green. We'll see if he can make a shot with it, and he doesn't even take the aggressive angles. We would see Malou taking the fight in middle very early, very confidently for the vast majority of that CT half for TeamOne. But Spamsy taking a bit of a different, more passive angle. Kinky flash through the smoke. We'll go forward, see if there's nobody there towards Banana. And maybe even rotate the extra player over towards A. Instead, they're going to go for a corner boost. Looking towards logs, see what they can find. But what they'll see is nothing. A does a good amount onto TRK. He's got a flash prep for it, though. He's going to go on forward, clear out Boiler. They have a smoke down Arches. But you can stall out in bracket. It's very much like mid-Mirage, where you can get stuck here just biding your time, tossing utility with no real entry point onto the site. And TeamOne are going to have to force their way through here as time ticks down. Or they're going to have to call the audible and rotate back to B.
Spamsy smoked off. He'll walk through it. Nice shot on the one, but only one. Mobs gets the trade, and now Marro in the pit has a lot to do. Saw a lot of action in this location in the first half, and Marro, he's going to answer the call here. 2 kills, and he's still alive to boot. Maluka's on low HP. It's a 4 versus 2 for Infinity, and Tasadella, he's going to try to make room here. 1-2, not quite the third. Kinky gets the trade, and that leaves Maluka 15 seconds in a 1v2. It is more doable now, far more doable than 2 versus 4, but with so many angles and not enough HP, it's just simply not feasible. He's caught by the player in the off angle towards the small pit. And that is a very important round, as you mentioned, for Infinity here. This was potentially a turning point where the game could just slip in favor of TeamOne, but Infinity do put a round on the board in spite of that, and they send TeamOne's economy to a very dicey situation, I would say. They have a Galil, they have a Deagle, they do have utility and 3 AKs, sure, but they're on the cusp of being reset. Mal's, he does have the armor, never mind, I thought the bomb was the armor indicator for Maluka, it's not. So full armor, full helmets, a Deagle, a Galil, 3 AKs, decent enough, but still Infinity, definite advantage in this one. And Spamzy again going for the same offense. We saw Maluka holding a very similar one towards the arch. This one for Spamzy will not work out. The nade will come in response, very good damage in return, but still it's not an actual kill. It's a lot of unconfirmed damage.
Ooh, there's the first strike as well. TRK falls too. Pesa eating damage. Pac-Man gobbling him up. And Infinity gonna draw within 1 here unless Pesa and Maluk have something very special up their sleeve. And by very special, it would have to be almost impossible. The op probably cannot be thrown out of the map unless Pesa wants to run all the way down into T-spawn and just get rid of it, which wouldn't be a bad idea to hurt the economy of Infinity. I don't think they would be able to get an op into the next round unless Pac-Man could drop one over to Spamzy, which might be the play in that case. But now with the... I know Pesa is low on health. I almost would rather have the op on Maluk, though. Because Maluk's not the greatest rifler. Pesa's a very solid rifler. Maluk's your opper. They're going to go for the boost. If it catches off, work out. Oh, it does! That's the sight if they can get by Kinky. And he will be a little late. The flashes go down, the smokes as well. He's going to wait for the rotations to come through here, but this gives TeamOne an opportunity now. Pesa going to post up on Banana. Maluk going to stay on the site. Probably tuck in towards Dark or New Box. Dark seems to be the play from him. There is a Molotov for Kinky, though. And if it's used at the right spot, this could get messy. There's a smoke to close off the CT side, the Banana side as well. That's exactly where it goes, but Pesa's going to push on through. Flashbang in. Pesa peeks. He gets flashed away. He's still holding. Hits the shot, but he can't get the kill. Luke's isolated and alone. He's dead to rights one way or another. They're going to find him, and they get him. There's that 1 round separation now. A bit of a costly round, however. They do recover the op. So Infinity just taking it 1 round at a time, clawing their way forward.
They keep 3 players alive, and keep in mind that was not an eco round from TeamOne. That was an investment, a desperate investment at that. 3 AKs, a Galil, a Deagle. They did do some damage. They got the bomb plant in the end, very well read by them to find the B bombs out with only 1 defender. But when it comes down to it, it's still a victory for Infinity nonetheless. So, TeamOne beginning to feel the pressure, I'm certain, at this stage, and Infinity finally finding that confidence as we've seen throughout this map thus far, and also finding the rounds to back it up. That's what I want to see. Infinity finally coming alive when it matters the most, as we are now in a 1-run ball game here, 11-12. Infinity on the cusp of tying this up, and again, they have the hefty advantage. It's going to be Tech 9s, it's going to be Utility and Kevlar. A very dangerous buy on a map like Inferno coming in from TeamOne, but Infinity, they have proven that they are rocks on the CT side, and their utility damage is not to be trifled with.
It's not to be trifled with at all. They're starting to hit their shots, too, more importantly. The nade will not connect. Nobody pushed up just yet from TeamOne, but Pac-Man has a general sense that there's people in his vicinity. Fakes the reload, tries to bait out the peak, and it works, too. That's a cheeky little play from Pac-Man.
Haven't seen that in a long while.
Good information from that.
Last time I've seen that, I did it in a pug, and I got called out for doing it immediately. I got called sweaty in like a C+ pug. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What's more sweaty
Either
than
way,
a C-pug?
nothing is the answer. Good nades from TeamOne. Shoes on the other foot. And in fact, it's a lot of Tech 9 kills. They're closing the distance. They're actually doing the damage. They've evened it up 2 versus 2. There's an AK on Pesadella, but it only has 7 HP. They do have a way into it. Pac-Man, though, a nice shot around the edge of the smoke. He spots the second as well, and that's the information. IDK, he'll recover that AK, but he's going to stick to the Deagle. He'll find their first, he'll swap, he'll try to find the second, and he almost does. But the dualies from Spamzy do get the trade. An expensive round against the Tech 9s, but hey, at this point, a victory is a victory. Infinity, they pulled off the comeback. They've tied it up at 12 apiece, and they have the momentum behind them. The question is, can they continue now? This is a very big turning point. This would allow them to regain that lead they had when they won the pistol round in half number 1, and it would give them a very strong standing going forward in the dying stages of this first map.
Spamzy's starting to take a little more aggression with the op, too. The Molotov there to allow him to peek into ult. But nobody's going to go that direction from TeamOne. Now Maluk swings through the fire, the flames, and he'll find the first kill. But can they carry on for more? That's the bigger question here, Nate. More utility coming in towards Banana from Infinity, and no real ground gained aside from that initial pick from TeamOne. But TeamOne, you can't realistically allow Infinity to win this map for pride reasons alone. They come in as the heavy favorites here. And Infinity are showing up. TeamOne are looking very flat. And quite honestly, rather underwhelming. Kinky gets the pick on the Mobs as well. Who, yes, he's had an okay game, but it's not really been that great. Torito gets the one-on-one against IDK too. It's an even 3-on-3, but I can't help but feel that Infinity has the advantage.
It does feel like with Maluka on 30 HP. Sure, he has the op in hand, so HP isn't too important, but still a critical factor. Another critical factor, though, is that the heavy hitter for TeamOne is still in effect. We have pacman, 25 kills to his name, 6 above his next closest teammate. He is still on the board, and he's looking to make this round theirs. Kinky, the lone B defender, is dancing in the smoke, finds one, dinks the second. Pacman will find the trade, though, and again, we're back to even footing. The issue is there's only 33 HP between these two remaining T-sided players, Marro and pacman, both on full, and they have utility to go for the retake as well. It's all on these opening duels here towards the construction. Can they find the timing? Yes, they can. Maluka, he finds the opening. A good shot to do some damage, but not enough to get across the line. It is Maluka with the op to find them both. And TeamOne, even on low HP, they still take the peaks with confidence, and they take the round with confidence. They reestablish a very tenuous lead, and now hopefully they can string multiple rounds together here on this T side.
They got to string some rounds together that they have failed to do so before, but the money for Infinity has been broken. However, it hasn't stopped Infinity from pulling some crazy stuff off before in this half. So the Mag 7, the Deagles are there, the 5.7, the P250. Also, Infinity, or TeamOne rather, were wearing more orangish jerseys yesterday. It was like black and orange. They've swapped to a black and gold. So I don't know if they're thinking maybe change up the mojo after yesterday's losses. But it almost feels like TeamOne, while they lost, were playing better Counter-Strike yesterday than they have been today.
It feels far scrappier. Yeah, I think is the best term.
No way this round.
There's an actual brawl. It's literally a scrappy brawl towards Banana, and that is what does it. It's a 4 versus 1 TRK with just a Galil. He's trying to deny as many rifles as possible while slowly getting control, but what can you really do? He's now giving away the information. The cat is out of the bag. Does he dare try to ditch some of these rifles? He might. Said he'll go ahead and clear it first. I think that's his primary goal at this point. Get those rifles off the ground and try to go from there. But no, he's actually going to try and go for it. Keep in mind, Infinity's economy was broken in this round, sure, but if they lose this round, TeamOne, their economy will be broken, especially if they don't get that bomb down. So the pressure's on TRK, though. 3 players here, 2 combining fire towards this cross on CT. It just doesn't seem feasible. He does not want to smoke it. He does not want to give away his location, but it just seems near impossible. He tries to get the flick onto the first and the second, but he doesn't hit the headshot on either. He splits the difference, and as a result, he will go down. That is a brawly, scrappy, and sloppy loss from TeamOne to give Infinity a tied ball game once more.
It ties the ball game, and it should break the economy of TeamOne as well, which indeed it does. Jeez Louise, man. They're going to buy up a hero rifle on Mobs, Deagle on Maluk, Tech 9 P250 Glock. That's a stunner. That's a complete
stunner, and Mobs is all in as well.
Round.
Mobs is all in. He bought the AK and the armor. He's going to be the hero here, which I love to see. Again, we talked about Mobs becoming activated. He is still activated in this game. 90 ADR. He's not the outright star, but he's still doing incredibly well for himself, so I'm glad to see that. And the flash play here from TeamOne does not get punished by the utility, and they find the opening. A potential rifle recovered. Marro now has to hold it down from the balcony, and he'll only find one. There's the hero rifle chiming in. pacman is now at bat. He'll find one onto that hero rifle, the AK, but pacman is next to the bat. No, it's Torito wow with the MP9 instead to take him down as well, and the bomb is dropped in no man's land. It looks like a promising round for TeamOne, but I think Infinity have at long last taking them down, unseated TeamOne in this one. It's just Maluka. That Deagle you mentioned before, no armor, sure full HP, but 3 players all on that bomb makes this near impossible. So many different angles being held. The MP9 chips him away out of the round, and Infinity, 14 rounds now, as they are taking it. They are going toe-to-toe against TeamOne here, and we do understandably see a timeout from TeamOne coming into this one. Not only do they have to find a strategy that works here, they have to figure out what they want to do with the economy. Keep in mind, Mobs went for the Hero AK. He invested every single dollar down to the nickel and dime into that last round. He had nothing left in the bank. So now they have to do some fancy footwork here in this one to try and just get an investment on the board.
I think they'll probably just stick him on a Deagle or a Tech, honestly. Everybody else get a rifle up. And
Tech with a utility might be good.
Okay, Mac 10. Mac 10 util. I like it. Send him somewhere fast. Now, I would almost want to see a John G flash over half wall. I want to see just like a fast play using the Mac 10 to get up towards Banana. Just get an opening pick and back away. But just get the pick. That actually seems to be the call here from Mobs. Tosses the Molotov out first, but he's going to get stalled out. Instead, he's going to eat the nade. And they tried to go fast. They didn't go fast enough. And that kind of negates the whole purpose of the Mac 10 in the early round. He will get flashed into Banana still just a little bit later, but he's already eaten a nade. And there's a second one prepped by Kinky. The smoke going to get tossed over. The flashbang comes over house. In comes the Mac 10 entry. It's gone by, and it actually does find Torito. And it might even grab Kinky as well. Yes, he tries to swap for utility. Sometimes it's better to just keep your gun out, and he gets punished. Save call already initiated from Infinity. And from the ashes of despair, Team1 have tied things up again. Maluk just lurking for the exits, lurking for an elimination kill, taking the guns and the money away from Infinity, who are still rather broke. But of all the rounds Team1 had to win, that was one of the most important. And they find a way with the Mac 10 entry from Mobs, and Marro might even get caught napping here. Bottom stairs. Yup. Night-night.
And again, these rounds have been so scrappy and so back and forth that neither team is on good footing when it comes to economy. So every single kill on the hunt here is incredibly impactful from Maluka. Very well done to find that one. He's not going to push his luck, though. He's going to stick around. Keeping all 5 alive is more important than risking your life for another kill. 14-14. But these rounds, sure, they've been back and forth. They've been entertaining. They have not been any sort of confidence instilling, though. They have been incredibly scrappy. They've been delayed presses, just trying to dance around the utility was the call there for Team1. They waited out the utility, and then they went towards Banana. They got some timings. They caught Infinity overthinking things by throwing smokes out. It was a good read and well played by Mobs with the Mac 10, but still, it was a window of opportunity given to him. It was not a window of opportunity that he spotted or that he read into. Interestingly, this is a timeout from Team1 as well.
I actually
this is a
like
second timeout. I do as well. They got that round on the board. They're probably riding the high of it because they got the entries with the Mac 10, right? They're in a very jovial mood, but you can't be jovial going into this one. You have to be serious, deadpan serious, because of how much of a grind this one has been. They know they're on the cusp. If Team1 win this, they completely reset the economy of Infinity. They have 15-14, and they should have an easy round 30 to get across the line.
Nade does a lot of damage to spams, takes a chip as well. But a lot of utility has been expended by Maluk. In fact, his whole belt has been used up towards B. Marro in mini pit with the MP9, gets jumped on and only able to get one. Needed a little more damage to make that one worthwhile. It's Mobs to trade him out. Maybe he can come alive again. There's a boost here for Pacman up on top of the smoke and over top of Kinky. Spots out the player on the balcony. Basadelo gets mowed down. Now it's a man advantage for Infinity. The bomb has gone down. It's Mine for Apartments, and TRK with a spam will finish off Pacman. More nade damage being exchanged onto Infinity, and things looking better and better for Team1 here. Looking to get to map point first, but in comes Torito. But watching for it is Maluk. Headshot landed. And at this point for Infinity, it's almost a save territory. Although you would be conceding map point, you don't have any money left over. These guns are a must into the next round. And when one of those guns is a FAMAS, it is terrible straights for you. Even thereby, let's see, it's going to be what? Second round loss, Nate? So 1900?
Desperate. MP9s is probably the best bet. In fact, I might even go for pistols to get the full utility in the kits. Yeah, exactly. 5.7 CZs. Maybe a Deagle if they're feeling a little bit saucy with the shot, you know. This is going to be a difficult proposition for Infinity. And again, they're on the cusp now. They've had a rough go in this tournament. Again, 2-16 where they're opening 2 games versus Fury and Nouns. It feels good to get 14, but it would feel really good to get a victory, even against some domestic competition like Team1. And so here's the investment. 2 MP9s, a 5.7 as you mentioned. Utility is still less than ideal too. Do we have some kits? Yes, we have a pair of kits on Kinky and Spamsy saved from the round prior, but truly desperate times for Infinity as Team1 do look to come alive here in the dying stages of map number 1. But again, the utility on the CT side has been immaculate for both teams. Lots of utility damage done to force Team 1 away. Those Molotovs, they retake utility banana. Incredibly good, incredibly well timed for Infinity, but it is also incredibly expensive. A lot of pieces of utility expended in that. They don't act upon it. They don't get control of banana. And they waste a lot of the utility they could be using to stave off an actual exec here.
Spamsy up on top, gets flashed away, has to drop on down. TRK should not be leading the charge with the bomb, but he does so anyway. That has been spotted. The rotation's going to come through, but Marro destroyed by IDK. He's been a bit quiet, but now he can wake up. TRK and Smallbs both spammed down by Spamsy. It's a 4-on-3 in the favor of Infinity. The bomb down at their feet as well. Pesadillo falls. Maluk and IDK have to clutch this one up, or it goes to overtime here on map 1. Maluk has one on the AK. He swapped away from the op. The players are so low on health, but Maluk's got to clutch the 1v3. He's got a gift for 2.
Oh.
He can pull this one off. It's all down to Kinky. The bomb is down, but there's so much time for Maluk to work with. He just needs one shot onto the lone Infinity player. The Molotov telegraphs, but it also makes noise and forces Maluk away. More time being bought. The flame should expire in about 5 seconds. There they go. Bomb to be recovered. Kinky still sitting, repositioning around the site. Maluk clearing up all the angles. Headshot to close it. And it will be Team 1. A narrow victory. A 16-14